So the question of the day is, would you rather be obsessed about something or be average? And I know for high school students and middle school students, that's a tough question to ask because sometimes all we want to do is fit in. In today's episode. Hello humans, welcome to the Daily Think Share. My name's Zach. I'm here to bring to you what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, and listening to that I don't have time to teach or talk about in math class. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. I've been listening to the book Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. And one of the really important things, so yesterday I talked a little bit about, I went to the funeral of Benjamin Cross. He was a Marine pilot that piloted Ospreys. And one of the things that someone said during his eulogy and talking about him was that one of the moments before he was about to head out to, I think it was Australia, which is where he was based, he said to his friend, do you ever feel like you're really exactly where you should be? Do you ever feel like you are exactly on the right path that you should be on? And he said, because I really feel like I am. I just think to myself all the time, am I doing that? Do I feel like I'm doing that? I think a lot of us should really be considering that. Are we on the path that we think is right, or are we living someone else's dream? Are we making a bunch of money because they all said, well, you're really good at math and so you should be an engineer? I thought about this. I really feel like Benjamin did a great job going after his passion, going after what he was obsessed with. My wife remembers a moment where a pilot had come in and had landed a boat on the lake nearby, and she had really just experienced Benjamin in this light of being so entranced in wanting to understand and learn planes and learning aviation. That kept coming up as we talked to people about Benjamin and his life and what he accomplished and what he was up to. There was the greatest common factor was that people were always very clear about what he wanted. Everyone knew what he was up to. Everyone knew exactly what he wanted because he was so, in a good way, obsessed with it. And he was one of the great pilots. He has one of the toughest jobs of people that want to be aviators. Being able to control and pilot one of those Ospreys is one of the really challenging ranks to get to in the US military. I thought this all really coupled well with the book I've been listening to, Be Obsessed or Be Average. And Grant Cardone talks about how he had a tough childhood. I think he said there were 7 of him with him and his brothers and sisters, and his father had just made it. He had made it to this financial wealth that he had been working for a long time, and he died. And so his mother worked to preserve that wealth and figured out a way to make ends meet now that there was no more primary income coming from the husband. As he said in the book, is that she did not have any marketable skills to bring so that she could earn money. So instead, she made the money that they had, along with the life insurance, work for their family. And so he became obsessed with becoming rich and becoming wealthy so that he did not ever have to deal with that. I think so often we think about, we just want to be average. We just want to live a normal life. We just want to, And even in that sentence, it almost feels like we're settling for something when we don't have to. And I've been thinking about, what am I settling for versus what do I really want? What's that path that I feel like I'm on? I know one of my life missions is to impact the education system. I really feel like the US education system currently is teaching us great skills, how to read, write, science, history, all these things that are great for other jobs. And I feel like there's a huge part missing from, by the time we get to college or out of college, I feel like there's this huge gap in our knowledge about how to live in the real world. And I feel like I got a lot of that at Landmark. Landmark Education is its old name, but Landmark formed the advanced course, the Self-Expression Leadership Program. I really feel like that should be taught in schools. And so that's kind of what this YouTube channel is. I said to a student the other day, I have a daily channel and I have another place you can go to for math tutorials, etc. He said, oh, that's dedication. And I thought to myself, yeah, this really is something that I'm dedicated to. I don't know if I'm obsessed with it, but I'm dedicated enough to it that I'm willing to make something every day right around the same time because I want to develop an audience and I want to develop a set of people that want to listen to what I'm saying and starting to see that people are actually looking for this kind of education out there. I would like to think that's one of the things that does not make me average, is putting a dedicated amount of time into, some might call it a hobby. I would call this is one of my callings. You know, I think that being a public education teacher is one of the best ways I can understand how public education works, so that I can see the other side of the coin, as I've been a student of it, and now I'm learning how to be a better teacher of it, and seeing what is it that caused me to become the way I am. What is it that is causing today's millennials and Generation Z to become what they are, and how they get to college and have all the student debt and have the, you know, one of the overwhelming amounts of repeated things I heard in some of the goal setting things, where I had all my students do a goal setting worksheet for one of their homework assignments. And I could not tell you how many times, I'll have to count it, is so many of them said, I want to get good grades because I want to get into a good college, and if I get into a good college, then I'll have a good job and I'll live happily. And I really feel like that is not necessarily the case. There's such a wide variety of things you can do without college. There's a ton of things you can also do with college, but sometimes the question may be, is it worth having those college loans if you don't have a good financial situation? You know, is it worth taking out $50 or $100 or $150,000 in student loans to get the bachelor's or the master's that you wanted? I'm thankful that I only have about $40,000 of loans right now. 20 just came up from a master's. But either way, the question is, do you want to be obsessed with something? Do you want to feel like you're on your life path? It's a tough question to answer, because I think we're all a bit afraid of looking obsessed. We don't want people to think that we're obsessed with something. But I think that when I look back on the life of Mr. Benjamin Cross, that he really lived an extraordinary life. He lived multiple lifetimes in the 26 years from what many people will accomplish in a full 70-something year life, which is the current life expectancy. I really want you to consider, would it be worth becoming obsessed? And in the comments, let me know, what are some things that you are obsessed with that you want to be more obsessed with, you want to take more action on, you want to take more risk in? Or is it that you want to be average? And what is it that you want to be average at? And one of these days I'm gonna have a video about what is average, especially in America. How much does the average person make? What's their job? How happy are they? You know, what's their weight? Are they overweight? Because over 50% of our population is overweight, and I forget the number for how many people that are obese. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. If you want more, you can hit the subscribe button. You'll receive daily reminders as I make this new Think Share every day. Let me know what you think in the comments, and stay weird.